Good afternoon and welcome to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ron Childers. A winter wonderland here in the Mid-South, snow blanketing the entire Action News 5 coverage area. However, those snowfall amounts vary greatly across the Mid-South, and parts of the area saw a lot of sleet as well. Let's get to it. Today is a first alert weather day all across the Action News 5 coverage area. This is the winter wonderland many of us woke up to today. Snow started accumulating yesterday afternoon, but it really piled on last night, and another round early this morning dropped another inch or so on top of what was already there. That's Union Avenue. You can see as we look to the west from our Best Care Home Services camera, a blanket of snow starting to get a little compacted. That's going to get icy, and I got to tell you, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Fortunately, the precipitation will be exiting soon. Our first alert Doppler radar is still showing light snow still falling across a good portion of northern Mississippi and mainly along and south of the I-40 corridor, parts of Fayette, Hardeman County, DeSoto County. You're still getting a little snow, and there are some flurries in and around the Memphis metro this afternoon. Let's take a look at the big picture because we're going to see this move on out of here. Look at this. There is an intense band of sleet that extends all the way from parts of Texas and Louisiana well into Middle Tennessee, northern Alabama. Travel problems all across the southeast are going to persist tonight. So hopefully you're hunkered down at home with no plans of leaving anytime soon. We've got a state of emergency that has been declared here in the city of Memphis and Shelby County. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. A winter storm warning remains in effect until 6 p.m. Tell you what I want to do now. I want to go to Joyce Peterson, who is out in the cold. We're going to come back and talk a little more about the weather in just a moment. But, JP, you're out there in it, downtown. It looks like you're near FedEx Forum. Scheduled to have a big game tonight, but there are complications from that. What do you got for us?
Well, the irony is, just a few minutes ago, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris declared a state of emergency for Memphis and Shelby County because the road conditions are so bad and because the temperatures are very dangerous. It is brutally cold out here. Even as that declaration was made, we saw snowplows going down MLK here next to the arena, trying to get the main streets ready for the game tonight. The Grizz still going forward with the game against the Warriors. Tip-off is 5 o'clock. The doors here at the arena open at 3. Coming down from the station in Midtown, we took Poplar Avenue. We saw 2 snowplows going down Poplar. They're trying to clear the main thoroughfare, but while doing that, they then build up these little snow dikes, snow dams along the side, so it's difficult to get into driveways. So while the thoroughfare has been cleared slightly, and let me say by slightly, I mean it is still treacherous driving, take a look at how slowly these people are going, wisely so. The streets in your neighborhood with that fluffy snow, no one's driven on it, much easier to drive in that than on these main streets because the snow is now packed down and it's a lot slipperier. This is MLK. I've been on Union today, Walnut Grove, Poplar Avenue, Madison Avenue. It is very, very, very difficult driving out here. That said, the Grizzlies going forward with this game. Doors open at 3 o'clock, tip off at 5 against the Warriors. If you are going to venture out and come to the game, and this is the MLK game, it's so very important to the Grizzlies, to the city of Memphis, to the NBA. It's nationally broadcast. I get it. But if you're coming down here, please give yourself extra time to make the drive. It is so very slick out here, and Mid-Southerners are not used to driving on roads like this. We have seen some real knuckleheads out here fishtailing, doing donuts, driving like idiots, and that is not safe for anybody. If you lose control of your car, you knock into pedestrians, and there are people who have to walk places to the store and get what they need. We have seen pedestrians, not a lot, but still enough that you don't need to be driving like a crazy person in this weather. And I hope the Memphis police find people doing this because we saw 2 examples of it just in the few minutes we were were down here getting ready for this live shot. So once again, state of emergency declared by Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris for Memphis and Shelby County because of the hazardous driving, the snowfall that has piled up, 5.5 inches at the station, 4 inches at my house in East Memphis, more than 4 inches downtown, 7 inches out in Arlington. It is really tough going out there, and this cold is not anything you want to be stuck in. If you are going out in your car to come downtown, pack things in your car: snacks, water, blankets, cat litter, snow scraper. Be prepared in case of an emergency, just in case you get stuck. Just be prepared. I'm begging you. Reporting live from downtown Memphis, I'm Joyce Peterson. Ron, back to you at the digital desk.
All right, JP, thank you very much. And she mentioned packing some cat litter in your car, and that is going to come in very handy, especially if you happen to slide off or get stuck. That's going to allow your car to get a little traction underneath you. JP, are you still there? Can we talk for just a second?
Yeah.
Just a second, because we drove in together this afternoon. As you mentioned, there's about 4.5 inches in East Memphis. The drive down Walnut Grove coming to the television station this afternoon, not that bad. You did the drive. JP drove us into work today. You did the driving. You're used to driving on snow like this. Most people are not. But I want to emphasize, you were driving at like 20 miles per hour, and we were still sliding a little bit, huh?
Yeah, so let me just preface with, I lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Chicago, Illinois. I also lived in Boston for a while, Washington, D.C., Zanesville, Ohio, near the Columbus area. So I've driven in snow and ice. It's not easy no matter where you live, but we just don't do it a lot here. And a lot of us have, let's face it, we have crap tires, okay? A lot of us do not have good tires for this. We don't have chains for our tires. Walnut Grove was okay. There were parts of it, again, where there's been more traffic it got slick. And then once we hit Union Avenue, I mean, I had to slow it down because it's packed down and so much slipperier. Side streets okay, neighborhoods okay, main thoroughfares, you may think they're okay, but they're not. And kudos to the people who are going slow out there, and shame on the ones who are not. Folks, if you don't have to go out, please don't. And I drove today because the weatherman's had a long week, and he's got some long days ahead too. So wanted to make sure he got to the station safely so he can keep you all safe and sound during this brutal cold weather blast. It's chilly out here.
Well, hey, let's get you back inside. We're going to talk more about temperatures coming up in just a little bit. Joyce, thank you for that live report from downtown. Again, the Grizzlies game against the Timberwolves going on as scheduled tonight, but driving is treacherous in and around the Mid-South. Let's talk about snowfall totals, shall we? Take a look. In Memphis, about 4.5 inches of snow. That's exactly what we have at my house in East Memphis. 5.2 inches in Germantown. Bolivar with about 5 inches. Taylor, Mississippi, 2.5 inches. Nesbit, 4.3 inches. Now, Nesbit also got a considerable amount of sleet last night as well. 4.3, that is the snow and the sleet combined. But look at Dyersburg, 2 inches. Just 2 inches. The snowfall amounts were much less along and north of the I-40 corridor. But as Joyce was mentioning, the bitter cold, a wind chill advisory in effect now until midday tomorrow for the entire coverage area. Let's talk temperatures, because the air temperature right now in Memphis is 13. As a matter of fact, in and around the area, temperatures range from 10 in Wynn to 14 in Oxford, Marks, Corinth, 14 in Dyersburg. But with a north wind at about 10, 15, even close to 20 miles per hour in Blytheville, it makes it feel much colder. And the wind chill, or the feels like temperature in Memphis right now, is -1. It feels like it's -4 in Tunica, in Helena, and Wynn. It's -2 in Holly Springs. Feels like it's 2 degrees in Oxford. That's what it feels like on exposed skin. So it is very, very important that if you're going to venture out, even just to play in the snow, that you are protected with coats, gloves, hats, ear warmers, scarves, multiple layers of clothing, because that wind and the cold is going to cut right through you, and it feels colder than it actually is. Over the next 12 hours, we're going to see wind chills hover right around 1 to 4 here in the city of Memphis, and across much of Shelby County, we are talking bitter, bitter cold remaining. Let's talk about the snow getting out of here because it's still falling around parts of North Mississippi. Temperatures, they're going to remain in the teens through the late afternoon and into the evening, but I do believe the snow and sleet will exit by 6 p.m. There may be a few flurries around. This cold air has a tremendous ability to just zap moisture from the atmosphere and squeeze it all out. So the heavier precipitation definitely moving out this evening, but don't be surprised if you still see a few snowflakes flying. And that cold, dry air, that's going to hurt overnight. Check this out. By right around 11 o'clock, temperatures right around 10, 11, 12 degrees for most areas, but again, feeling colder like it's in the single digits. By 8 in the morning, we're going to start the day with temperatures about 9 to 11 degrees. That's what it will, those are air temperatures we're talking about. Those feels like temperatures still in the single digits. By midday, the wind chill advisory, it expires, but look, temperatures only in the mid to upper range of the teens. Now, I do believe we'll start to get some sunshine by the afternoon. And by late afternoon, most of the Mid-South should be enjoying sun, but we're not going to get any melting as a result of the extreme cold that's still going to be in place across the area. And we're looking at a bitterly cold night tomorrow night with near record lows. That makes tomorrow a first alert weather day. So with treacherous travel, extreme cold, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of staying home, staying warm, staying safe. So just get through this. We will tell you this though, schools are closed. The Memphis, Shelby County, Jacob, am I correct? Memphis, Shelby County schools, closing schools Tuesday and Wednesday as a result of the bitter cold and the road conditions. Some of the major thoroughfares may be cleared off a bit by late tomorrow, but we're still going to have extreme problems on side streets, some of the less traveled roadways around the Mid-South, well into Wednesday. We'll get some sunshine, but I don't think we're going to be getting above freezing on Wednesday. So this is going to stick around for a little while, and we're looking at the possibility of another wintry system coming into play on Thursday. Yeah, there could be a little more. We're going to talk more about that coming up on Action News 5 at 4. Meteorologist Spencer Denton and I will be along to bring you the latest on what's going on around the Mid-South and what is to come. It's going to be a long week of weather here in the coverage area, but it's the bitter cold right now that's really creating the biggest issues now that the majority of the precipitation is moving out. So again, stay home. Check on your elderly friends, neighbors, relatives. Give them a call. Make sure they're warm. Make sure they have food. Make sure they're doing well. And don't forget about your pets. Look, we're having to replenish Ripley's water every couple of hours. My dog, Ripley, simply because his bowl outside freezes after an hour or so. So you've got to check that constantly, all right? So be sure to check on your pets. If you can bring them in, that's the best thing to do. If not, make sure they have shelter and warm bedding. But most importantly, if you do plan to venture out, make sure you are bundled from head to toe. Take it easy, be safe, and we will see you a little later on the Action News 5 digital desk. Our broadcast at 3:30. Is that when we're coming back, Jacob? 3. We're coming back at 3, and then we're coming back at 3. Come here, Jacob Gallant. Come here. I got to give this guy a shout out. He's been working hard on our digital desk. He gets it done. Thank you. He is for those of us, the handful of us you see in front of the camera, there are a whole host of people behind the scenes working to make this broadcast happen. So we thank them all. Jacob, thank you. We'll see you again right here on the digital desk